Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to understand sources of finance for joint stock company. As you know that we have already get introduction of joint stock company. Today we will just be revising this concept and we'll see how finance is collected. First, let's understand this word finance. Finance is basically cash. For the time being, understand finance is cash. So cash is required for two major aspects. First, cash is required to purchase assets. Cash is required to purchase assets. Secondly, cash is required for operations. Let's say you want to start a business. So you need a building, plant, machinery. These are assets. So you do need cash. Secondly, if you want to pay your electricity bill, you want to pay your rent, you want to pay your salaries, these are operations. For that purpose, you again need cash. So finance is basically the cash to operate the business and to get the assets. So these are two basic needs for any organization or any business. Since we are concerned with joint stock company, when more than seven and maximum has no limit for partners, that would be a basic aspect of joint stock company. We have got the introduction where an organization will introduce itself in stock exchange and will offer to sell their shares. Public will invest and they will be provided shares. In this way, joint stock company will be established and can start its business. If you want to revise it, we have already this lecture in the same playlist. You can open it and read it. Anyways, joint stock company has already established. I'm repeating, we are not going to revise the concept how joint stock company will start its business or stages of joint stock company, stages of incorporation, stages of incorporation of joint stock company. We are not going to discuss. We will be discussing only sources of finance, how cash amount is collected by a company. First, the major source, as you know, that it is equity finance. This would be your major source. Let me increase the size. All right. So we have first source, which is equity finance, and then the second source would be the debt finance. Equity finance, as I have told you, that a joint stock company collects its sources from public. And sources of finance, first is equity finance. If shareholder provides amount to joint stock company, if shareholders are investing in the company, the amount which organization will collect is called equity finance. And when joint stock company is unable to collect finance from shareholders, the company will go to banking institutions and they will get loan. So a sort of loan, debt financing, as you know that the word debt is clarifying, it's a sort of loan from financial institutions. It's not a loan, it's a sort of investment from public. Now I'm sure that you people uh, have an understanding the difference between equity financing and debt financing. After which we will try to understand and establish a third concept, but for the time being, you are requested to please make your mind about these two things. Equity financing, when you are taking your amount from public. This is investment from the public. Still more space is needed. Let me make it. Okay. And the second source is debt finance. I am just revising in brief how you will get cash from the public. Again, let's say more than 7 people, they have decided to establish a joint stock company. They want to make a company. Where they will go? They will register themselves in stock exchange, and they will also register themselves in SECP, Stock Exchange Commission. They will start their registration process. First stage will complete, and then promotional stage will start, and here they will introduce this organization in front of public. I'm repeating, they will introduce this company name in front of public. Now they will market it, they will promote it, and they will say that investment in their organization will create a lot of profit. So public will be interested and will buy their shares. Public will be interested and will buy their shares. In this way, a capital would be created. As earlier it was told, authorized capital mean the capital which is allowed, then they will issue, they will offer ordinary public to purchase share. Authorized, issued, and then paid up capital, subscribed capital. Authorized, issued, paid up, subscribed capital. These are four sort of, this is permission. Authorized capital, let's say this organization is permitted to allot 1000 shares and they have issued only 500 shares due to any reason, after which it might be possible that 600 people or 600 share request they have received. 1000 number of share they were authorized, they have decided to issue only 500, and applications they have received for 600 shares. Obviously they will not be able to issue shares more than 500 because issued capital was 500. 100 shares would be returned back and subscribed capital would be for 500 shares. All these discussions were already completed. So briefly I'm telling you that in this way 500 shares will be sold out or issued. In place of that they will get the amount, and this amount would be considered as equity financing or investment from the public. On the other hand, if they are not going to the public, instead of that they are going to a bank or financial institution, they are getting loan from a bank or financial institution. In this way, in both cases you will get the amount. Sale of shares or sale of 500 shares to the public, and public will give the amount. So they have got finance, they have got cash. This is first source. And secondly, they have gone to the bank and there by taking loan they have got the amount. In both cases, this is both cases we will call it a source of finance. They can go to the bank and will get the loan, they will go to the public and will get investment from the public. A little bit difference would be when they will take investment from the public, profit would be shared. In this case, when they are taking loan, interest would be paid, and in this case loss is also possible. Loss, let me correct the spelling. Loss is also possible for public, but here loss is not possible. After which, then if it is profit, it might be possible that their amount can be doubled. So, or it might be possible they can lose their original amount as well. No fixed rate of return. What does that mean? First year they can get 10% profit, second year 15% profit, third year 20% profit, and fourth year it may be possible no profit, zero profit. And in fifth year it may be possible they can lose their original amount of investment. Instead of 10%, they may face minus 10% of profit. In this case, they will get fixed rate of interest. fixed rate of interest. Now please note it down. We have sources of finance, two major sources we have discussed: equity financing and debt financing, where a basic difference we have already discussed. Whenever you will see sources of finance, these are two major sources. And now we may see other sources as well. Let me write complete. Other sources of finance. How an organization get amount or get cash through other sources. Other sources mean considered as those sources would not be considered as your equity financing or debt financing. I am requesting you to please understand the concept of sources of finance for joint stock company. When you will have equity financing, it would be sometimes beneficial if your business is earning a lot of profit, lot of investment you will get. In that case, if public has no source, if public is not getting, if you are unable to get finance from public, so instead of getting investment from public, you will go to your bank. All right, now there are some other sources we are going to explore. First, hire purchase. What is this? Hire purchase. And you need to understand this concept. Purchasing any asset on installment. Purchasing any asset on installment. What we have discussed earlier, sources of finance mean cash. Why you do need cash? For two purposes. You want to purchase asset and you want to pay your operational expenses. For that you need cash. Now hire purchase mean if you need your asset, you can have that particular machine, plant or building without payment. You can buy that asset on installment. So it may be considered indirect source of finance. You have taken your asset, you have bought your asset without payment on investment. All right, the next source which we will discuss would be your retained earning. Retained earning means first year you have got your profit. First year you have got your profit of 1 lakh. Just giving you an example. First source you have got your profit 1 lakh, but that profit was not distributed to shareholders. First, you have got a profit of 1 lakh. You have not distributed 1 lakh to shareholder. Rather, you have used that 1 lakh to purchase your asset, or 1 lakh of profit you have used to pay your utility charges. So this would be considered as your source of financing. Then you might go for leasing or mortgage. Leasing means you are buying your asset without payment. Instead of that, you are paying monthly installments for using that particular asset. This is also been considered as source of finance. Government grants. These are available only for joint stock company. Sometimes government will help to flourish or to grow the concept of joint stock company. So government will provide investments. And it may be possible if you are a grown organization, then foreign aid is also possible. As you know, we have several organizations like EB Welfare and lumps. Please note it down. Lumps is having a source of finance from USAID. So they are getting their financial resources from foreign countries. So it might be possible an organization can get source of finance from sources of finance from foreigners. So these are some sort of other sources, but whenever you are asked to share sources of finance, you will have complete concentration upon equity and debt financing. Somehow you may also write other sources, and little detail would be required over here. Alright guys, so it's all about sources of finance for the time being. Consider it as part A. In next part we will see what are advantages of equity financing and what are advantages of debt financing. This would be our part 2 of this question. For the time being we are getting break. This is part 1. It's time to end this part 1 lecture. We will see you soon again. So thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.